don't even know what time it is. It is 12:05 in the morning. I'm at my uncle's house in Elkhorn, Nebraska. They had company tonight, and I was supposed to stay for dinner with them, but I was hurting too bad. My back is killing me. So I came out here. I think I came out here about 4 o'clock, maybe 5, and just laid down. I wasn't hungry because I was hurting so bad. So I just laid down. I've been watching videos and doing puzzles on something, I don't know what it's called. And all of a sudden my stomach has decided it's hungry. I took half of a Vicodin. Most people would be passed out by now. Not me. Oh no. No. But now I want nachos. I said I was hurting, not sick to my stomach, so nachos is what we get. I'm trying to think how to do it. So I have a regular cheese grater, but it's down there and I'd have to squat to get it out. And I think that's a big part of the problem with why I'm hurting so bad. It's dark. Can you even see me? Probably don't want to at this rate. Oh, God, this is bright. Anyway. Nachos, cheese grater. I think a big part of my problem with my back and my legs hurting is that I squat a lot in this thing. Setting it up, I have to squat to do the stabilizer jacks. Anyway, so I'm trying not to do that. So the deal with the truck. In my last video, I alluded to the fact that I had more mechanical issues, which I did. This trip has been something else. It was in another town. I can't think of the name of it. Well, I'll figure it out and I'll put it in a message somewhere, wherever they end up. Anyway, and I noticed my battery light in this other town was on. So I texted my mechanic. This was probably, I think it was the Oasis RV park, wherever I was. And that was at least 2 weeks ago, and I still haven't heard from my mechanic. Thanks, Sal. Anyway, so Sal didn't answer me back after, I don't know, half hour or so. I sent the pictures to my brother, and it was the picture of a battery light, and I was like, Rick, what does this mean, and what should I do? He's like, well, that's probably something to do with your battery. So I went to, he told me to go to a mechanic there in town, and I had pulled over, I think I was at a Pilot or some gas station, and I asked some kid with his kids, I mean, he was a kid, but he had kids. He was probably in his 30s. So I told him what my problem was, and I was, asking him, where do I go to get that fixed? And, and his little boy's pulling on his pant like, Daddy, Daddy, Daddy. And finally, Daddy looks down at him, and the little boy goes, you could fix that, Daddy. And Daddy looks at me like, oh. And I was like, no, it looks like you guys are on your way somewhere, sweetie. You better let Daddy just tell me where the best place to go would be. So anyway, Daddy told me, go 3 miles, cross the bridge, and there's Ron's service on the left side. So that's where I went. Anyway, Ron put on some kind of a meter, and he said, well, your alternator should be at 14 and charging, and it's at 12.3, I don't know, and not charging. It was going down in numbers. Need a new alternator. Okay, no problem. Put one on. So he takes the old alternator off and he walks around the corner to the Napa, convenient, gets an alternator, puts it on, and I'm out of there for, I don't know, I think it was 112 bucks. I don't know, I don't remember. It might have been 212. My memory's shot. I don't know. So he puts it on and I take off like a big bird and I go back over to, I can't remember the name of the town, but it was back across the bridge. I think it was the Oasis RV Park. Mitchell, South Dakota. Anyway, so I go back over there and I do my thing. I have a wonderful time, meet some nice people, yada, yada, yada. Get back on the road. I don't know, 2 days later. I don't know how long I stayed there. Fast forward 2 RV parks later, and now I'm at my uncle's house in Elkhorn, Nebraska. But as I'm leaving the last RV park, and my uncle came over because he was curious how this thing closed up. And I said, you know, I need gas. So he said, well, I know a good place, cheap prices, you follow me. Pretty soon I'm noticing, and I've got a video on my phone. I'll try and put it in here. Pretty soon I'm noticing my air conditioner is on not normal, but max, where it blows the maximum amount. But it's not blowing much. Thinking, that's weird. So, you know, I'm driving, and I'm looking at it and thinking, this is weird. So I take my foot off the gas so that I'm not catching up with my uncle in front of me. You don't want to hit him. And the air conditioner kicks on full. And I'm thinking, that's an odd combination. So I look back at my speedometer stuff and everything looks fine, and I push on the gas pedal. I'm pulling my trailer. I push on the gas pedal, and all the instrument panels go to 0. I mean, the gas gauge, the battery, the oil, the RPMs thing goes to 0. The speedometer goes to 0, and I'm doing about 40 down the road. I know I'm doing about 40. And I'm thinking, that's odd. So I take my foot off the gas, and everything goes over to where I'm going 100 miles an hour. The RPMs are maxed out. I've got a full tank of gas all of a sudden, and I know I only had a half a tank. And I'm thinking, this just isn't right. So I start flashing my headlights at my uncle, and he pulls over, and I tell him what's going on. He says, well, I know there's a mechanic up here. Just keep following me. So I followed him. And in the midst of following him, I grabbed my cell phone, I videotaped. And so we get up there. Long story short again, it's the alternator. So the good news is the alternator was under warranty through Napa. But the bad news is the labor was $200 and something again. I just can't seem to win for losing with mechanical problems on this trip. Anyway. So then, today, I get a notification on YouTube. Jamie, the guy that's doing the van build, has a new video out. It's like, cool, it's been a while. Garbage. So, I flip over and start watching the video. And I plan on going to this van build. I volunteered to help in the administrative part. I don't want to cook. Although I love to cook, but no. Well, it turns out now they are charging $75 per person. I don't think it's per vehicle. I think it's per person to get into the van build. And I'm not knocking Jamie for it. I know he has had to bear the brunt of a lot of these charges, and he's paid for it. I just, you know, between putting an air conditioner on this, putting a new axle on the truck, having the bearings repacked on the truck, the bearings repacked on the RV, brand new tires all the way around, 2 alternators, something wrong with the water hose, or radiator hose. I'm about, I don't know, $3,000 into maintenance just on this trip, which is was totally eating through my travel budget. I am like way over. So, you know, I'm thinking 75 bucks. That's not that bad for 16 days, and I get that. But I think I'm just going to pass by the van build. I'm going to go to Lollapalooza, but I'm going to have to pass up the van build. I don't want to. I'd really like to go, but I think I'm just going to probably head back to California, maybe go to Pismo and Monterey and San Francisco and see some of those sites that are closer to home. Yeah, the van bill would have been nice because there's things that I would like to have done, but I just don't have the money anymore to pay for what I want. I wanted more solar. I wanted new batteries. Anyway, I think I'm just going to pass it up and hopefully get this truck. I mean, there's not much more that can go wrong with it, right? I don't know. Anyway, let's move over here. So, like I said, I don't blame Jamie, you know. Shoot. Goodness only knows how much money he is out of pocket it himself. He probably put a lot of it, you know, out of his own pocket, and then I got another bruise. And then, you know, I know he does like fundraisers and things to help out. So, but he does a lot of good for a lot of people. So I'm not knocking Jamie. I'm just saying I couldn't afford it. It's just one more thing, and yeah. So, and by the time you see this, the van bill will be over. But anyway, one thing I have learned, because I was watching another RV YouTube thing earlier, and she got me thinking, what is her channel? I think it's Simply RVing or Simply RV or something. Traveling solo, you get very talkative. The people over at the last RV place I was at, Venice, Nebraska, Two Rivers State Park, something like that. There were a brother and a sister that were camping. Really nice people, and boy, I just jabbered on. So, anyway. So, back to this trip. I got the truck back today. Today's Friday the 13th. I'm not driving. Not on Friday the 13th. Not the way my luck's been going. And then Mike and his wife have something to do Saturday. So I thought, you know, I'll just hang out because it's supposed to be pretty windy. And I'll leave on Sunday. 13th, 14th, Sunday the 15th. So, I guess since I'm skipping the van build, that cuts down on my schedule. The only thing that I have scheduled now is Lollapalooza, which is in Texas, and then I've got two or three people that I want to go see in Texas. And like I said, when this video gets posted, I will have already come and gone from Texas. But anyway, Faye Patterson, I went to high school with her. Clark Gregory, I went to high school with, if he's around. He just bought an RV. And then Texan, she's got a YouTube channel, so I'm gonna try and make things work so that I can go by and visit her for a while. So that's those plans. But yeah, 2 alternators, and the first alternator that the guy put on, the first one, that was on the 31st of August, and this is September 13th. Yeah. So it didn't take long to foul up, but in that wrong guy's defense, he was a great mechanic. He was very friendly, very helpful. He did say that aftermarket alternators usually don't play nice with the Ford F-150 truck. So I was warned, and it kind of gave me a heads up that something was wrong because the power windows on the truck weren't working. In my last video, the one where I showed you I did a big tour and I drove around that park because it was so big, and I mentioned that my windows were acting weird. That was why. Anyway, so I've just been kind of putzing around here in the RV. My wallpaper up, I showed you that. That's pretty much it. Just hanging out. It's nice driving. I mean, I'm getting better at it, but I kind of like being parked and for a couple days. There for a while, I was stopping in an RV park, you know, and then leaving the next morning. And that's a lot of work, because when you, okay, like if I pull in somewhere, I set the RV up and spend the night, and then the next day I break the RV down, close it up, go somewhere, set it up again, spend the night. So within a 24-hour period, I'm putting it up and taking it down 4 times. Well, with my back, it just wasn't working. So I decided I'll stay 2, maybe 3 nights in some places. And that seems to be working better, and it gives me time to relax a little bit, have a campfire, check out the beautiful moon outside, and it is a huge moon. I don't know. I could probably take you out there and show you. Let's go see the moon. Friday the 13th, Harvest Moon, I think it's called. Oh, telephone. Can you see it? It's ginormous. Go big. Focus. I don't think it's going to focus. But anyway. Very pretty. Very pretty. Anyway, this is really a nice neighborhood. I don't know how much of it you can see. Quiet for the most part. And the grass, oh my gosh, I'll show you tomorrow. Everybody's lawn here is gorgeous. Hang on, let me put this back. Shut my door back again. Hot. Oh. And while I was at that Two Rivers RV park, the last place I was just at, big storm. Big, 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 big. Thunder, lightning, hail, rain, wind for hours. And I did set my camera up, and I got some really good footage. And I spent probably 6 hours out here editing. You know, just putting the lightning flashes into an 8-minute, 13-second video. And I went to put music in it when I got all that done. And all of a sudden, these big yellow things started showing up that said, "This file is corrupt." And it moved to the next clip. "This file is corrupt." Every single clip. 5-6 hours of work. Corrupt and gone. was not happy. There was a hell of a storm. I did videotape it, and I got some beautiful lightning strikes. Oh my gosh. So if you don't get to see it, I told you, it was beautiful. And it, oh man, loud. You would have thought I was in Florida. Miranda, Dorian, whatever her name was. Anyway. It was a storm, let me tell you. It was loud. Anyway, I'm going to finish my nachos, and I'm going to try and go back to bed. So, good night, everybody.